Good morning. It's time for another Psalm Thought. My mom, she was a big fan of the Peanuts comic strip by Charles Schulz, so of course I became a fan as well, and we both shared a love for his dry humor. He also had a common sense approach to real life, so occasionally I'll unshell a Peanuts illustration for a lesson or perhaps a devotional. Schulz, he actually makes this pretty easy, because from time to time he would allow the Peanuts characters to apply scripture or make some spiritual application. Now, the one I have in mind this morning, it's a strip from 1959. And in the panels that follow, Linus, he's on a beach. He's building this awesome sandcastle, and it starts to rain. Heavy rain. And in the final frame, the sandcastle's washed away. And Linus, he's contemplating what just happened. And he says that there's a lesson to be learned here somewhere, but I don't know what it is. Now, you and I, we would read this strip and we would know what it is because we'd immediately think of Jesus' words in Matthew 7:24 through 27. You'll recall, everyone who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rains fell and the floods came and the winds blew and beat on that house. But the wise man's house stood firm. And then the next verses. Everyone who hears these words of mine and does not do them will be like the foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rains fell, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house. And we all know what happened to the foolish man's house, don't we? It went splat. Here's our psalm thought. Jesus' words in Matthew, they sync up perfectly with Solomon's words in Psalm 127 and verse 1. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. For the sake of our salvation, the Lord has to be the foundation that our life is built on. I want to go to heaven, and I know you do too.